Record. Okay. Welcome to session 2 of our Area 6 Marketing Academy. My name is Melinda Brunson. I am the PR coordinator for Area 6, member of the council. I also am a member of Atlanta Harmony Celebration in Atlanta, Georgia. Today, I don't know that you want to know all my history. It's not that great. I've been singing barbershop for 10 years now. I've done all the positions on the board of my chorus. I've only done PR for the council, for the area, and I think I'm on, year 5 of that currently. So, I've also done marketing for my chorus. So, today we're going to talk about PR and image. So, there's lots of different things involved in public relations and in your chorus, right? I really love that when we talked to Anne, she said when it comes to this kind of marketing, that she basically treats the chorus like a business, because that's what we are. We are a business. Yes, it's my 3-year-old just came inside, sorry. Um, but it is a business. We are in the business of getting paid performances. We are in the business of sharing our love of music with our communities. And we are in the business of bringing new members into our organization, whether that's on our chorus level, area level, international level. If you know people that aren't ready to join a chorus, but they want to be part of Harmony Incorporated, they can become associate members and they can sing in quartets. We have several members who just sing in quartets because they don't want the commitment or are not able to have the commitment of being part of a chorus. Okay? So that's the business that we are in as marketing and PR for our choruses. So, one of the things I'm going to ask a question first, and then I'm kind of going to base what we talk about on the answers I get. What is the number one thing that you struggle with when it comes to marketing in general, marketing your chorus to the public? Just unmute yourself, and whoever's unmuted first can go ahead.
I,
Debbie.
I think for us, where to get the word out. I
Where?
mean, we've advertised, although we have to advertise more.
Mm-hmm.
We've advertised in like a local publication that comes out monthly, um, and we're good at doing some other things, but it's tough. We're, as Angie mentioned earlier, we're like in Sweet Adeline Central.
Right.
So it makes it very difficult for us to attract people to Harmony.
Okay. So where to market? Who else? What about somebody from Panama City? Anybody? I also see, let me see, Anne. Anne from Sisters of
Hi,
Sound.
Peg.
Oh, sorry. Lynn, go ahead.
Well, I'm not too much in the marketing stuff. I'm membership, but I work very closely with Peg. Um, Sometimes she and our director Barb get together when we have we just did a Singing Valentine
Mm-hmm.
campaign, and the flyers that were produced were great, but we took those flyers, or Peg did, and brought them down to a large postcard size and gave everybody one, and we actually distributed the cards, which are bright and pretty and informative, and we put those around our local areas. And one restaurant that loves us in particular allowed us to put those cards on their table flags,
Okay.
which
So,
was really nice. It got the there she is. Peg,
um,
tell
so
them about your tell them about the marketing.
Right. So the question currently is what do you struggle with the most, just overall with marketing? So Coastal Voices was saying where to market the chorus. So if you picked one thing, like what is the thing that you struggle with the most? I think that's a fantastic idea, and I'll actually touch on some of that about the little postcards for the Singing Valentines. But what would you say the number one struggle is for marketing Panama City?
It has to be where to market because
Where?
we, we can't put anything in our newspaper anymore because the prices are absurd. Not very many people take the newspaper anymore. So that eliminated a lot.
Hmm.
So now you just have to try and get the word out wherever you can and hope somebody, here and there. It's just the same problem. Where do you do it? Where do you advertise?
Okay.
But I think the postcards, we're going to also take the postcards. We're going to make up postcards for, we will sing at anniversaries and birthdays and da 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 da, and get those out too. I think the postcards were a pretty good idea. So
Okay. Is there anybody else? So Anne or uh, Amy or Donna? Do any of you? Sue?
Want to say at this point in time, I still feel like our chorus is kind of new. We're not
Right.
out there in the public performing.
Hmm.
So I perhaps my question is, what do we advertise? And all we have to advertise right now are our rehearsals, are getting together, which I love our rehearsals. I love
Right.
getting together and the friendships that continue to grow. But I think people are looking for some, they want to know that there's a goal in mind, a
Hmm.
performance. And once we're able to, and I see that time coming, once we're able to actually be performing for the public, I think we'll be marketing ourselves by promoting a performance. Does that kind of make sense?
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Donna, did you have any?
It doesn't you promote yourself through your performance. That
Yes.
also is part of that. And we're in a growth spurt. So
Yeah.
Well, with where we are, we're in such a huge metropolitan area.
Hmm.
Where do you choose to market? Or is it, everywhere or just generally Gwinnett County and the, what eastern perimeter?
Okay.
Yeah. That and finding paid gigs is the big thing.
Yeah. Debbie.
can I ask? I'm not familiar with the other choruses.
Yeah.
Can somebody give me a general idea of how large each group is?
Atlanta Harmony Celebration has, I would say, 18 to 20 active local members, and then 4 to 5 members that live out of town that are able to come in occasionally and perform, and they compete with us. Let me see. Coastal Voices is how many? Do you know?
I'm going to say we're 12 to 15. Just
Okay.
depends on the day.
Okay. Panama City, you guys are over 20. You're like kind of approaching high 20s, correct?
no, we're 20.
No? You are just
About,
20?
yes.
Okay. What about Sisters of Sound?
Sisters of Sound, currently we're about around 25
Okay.
regularly attending members. We have a few associate members
Okay.
as
I
well.
okay. I know unaccompanied minors is 15 to 20. Are they closer to 20?
Probably. I really don't know what their count is this year, but
Okay.
that's probably a very good estimate.
Okay. Um
Okay, but we're all basically the same size groups. That's kind of
yeah.
what I was curious about.
Our
You don't have anybody
largest
that stands out.
No, our largest chorus is actually an up and coming chorus that's up in Nashville. They have not chartered quite yet. But they are closer to probably high 20s and 30, low 30s.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Wow.
Um, so, Sisters of Sound. So, Anne,
Yes.
the question was, what is the number one thing that you struggle with overall with marketing?
Well, I think it's very similar to what everyone else has
Where?
been talking about this afternoon. Most of our members come through member referrals. It's a contact.
Sure.
We are fortunate in that Tiana is in the school system. And so she has brought, particularly this year, 2 to 3 new members who are parents of students.
Oh, good.
And that's been really exciting. But and we have the advantage of we still have some youth members too. So
yeah.
Although they're growing all the time, and they won't be youth members for long, but
right.
But I think it's the same with everybody else. That we used to through shows, but that hasn't happened for several years, and
So one of the big things that you can use, because everybody's answer seems to be where. So one of the big things that you can use is the internet. And that can be overwhelming in a lot of ways. Anita's going to talk about some social media stuff in her class, but part of that, and I don't know what she's going to talk about in the way of ads, but part of it is having a marketing budget for your business. Newspapers, you're right, newspapers can get super expensive because you're putting ads out in the newspapers, right? There's the avenues that you can go are newspaper, radio, television, internet. There's a lot involved in the internet, and mailers. Okay, so the easiest one to use is just the internet because there's so many options on the internet. Meetup is one of the ways, and it does require a membership, but it's a low-fee membership that you pay once a year. Social media. If you're using Facebook, excuse me, if you're using Facebook, there are options to advertise on Facebook. Sorry, hold on. You may not know that if you've never put an ad out on Facebook. And the way that Facebook works when you're advertising is you pick your budget. If you have an ad if you just want to put your chorus out there in general, not a rehearsal, not an event, you can do a general ad. It's a post ad. You create a post and it gives you the option to boost that post. And the way you do that, you click on that and then it goes through all these different questions. Who do you want to market? You can be very specific. You want to market women between the ages of 18 and 55 or whatever your target range is. You can also say what you would like for them to be interested in. I don't generally put that about what they're interested in because not everybody fills that out on social media. Not everybody puts that they're interested in parenting and singing and outdoors. Sometimes they just create their profile and that's it. So we know their gender, how old they are, and where they live. And that's the basic information that you need when you're using targeting ads on social media. And if you use Instagram, you can do the same thing on Instagram. In fact, it lets you boost the post on both. I'm so sick of the pollen already, and it just started, you guys. It just started. That's why I keep coughing. I'm sorry. But you can use Facebook and Instagram. They have a business suite. And you can use the business suite to do Facebook and Instagram at the same time. And it's amazing. I'm hoping that Anita's going to touch on that. If she doesn't, I can teach an entire class on how to use the business suite. And you just let me know if you want that later. But it's targeting ads is what it is. And that's how you're doing that. There are other sites where you can have ads that pop up on blogs, or you can use Google Ads. I use Google Ads for my YouTube channel. Outside of singing barbershop, I have a YouTube channel. And so I use Google Ads to market my YouTube channel. I also use social media. But Google Ads are what bring in more views for me because of the way that it markets it. It does it the same way that social media does. where whatever platform you're on, if you're on Facebook, if you're on the website on your computer, you're going to have ads that come up and populate down the side of your screen. If you're on your phone, the ads are going to pop up as sponsored posts as you scroll through your content. YouTube does the same thing. Now, as choruses, it is very tricky to use YouTube. Okay, I don't actually recommend using YouTube as a chorus, except for using it as an education tool for your personal chorus. Because when you, like, Harmony Incorporated pays a lot of money to be able to play our videos on YouTube because of copyrights and monies that go towards to arrangers and everything like that. So, but you can still use Google ads for like your website or things like that. So if you want to advertise your website, you link it with a Google account and you can use Google ads. And it's the same thing. It's targeting. You pick the gender, the age, the location, and you pick your budget. So if you have a budget of $150 a year, that's not very much when it comes to marketing. However, you could run an ad a quarter if you wanted to. Divide that money up, and then if you just want to run one ad for, like, say 7 days, or if you want to run an ad for an entire month, you can. You just have to put the budget in of the max amount of money that you are able to spend on that advertisement. Does that make sense? It will say, like, when you're, I don't know if I could show you one right now. I could probably show you one. Let's see. Let me pull it up. Business Suite. Share my screen with you. Okay, but I'm going to pull your videos up to you. Give me just a second. Okay, can everybody see this? I'm just going to assume so, yes. Okay, I see some thumbs ups. So, what?
Tiny.
It's tiny? Oh, you guys. Okay, hold on. Is that better? Okay, well, I'm on my laptop, so that's what we've got to work with today. All right. So this is the business suite for Facebook. I think we all probably have a Facebook account for our chorus. The important thing is that you have a business page. In the past, people have made chorus groups, or they've turned a personal page into a business page, or into like their chorus page. That's not correct. You need to have a full-on create a business Facebook page. I think all of the choruses here have the correct format, but that's really important for you to be able to use business tools. So on here, you can see, this is Instagram, but you can see I'm an admin for AHC and my YouTube channel. So what we can do, like, this is just a random one. So if I clicked on this, okay, you can see the post. It shows you the interaction that you've received from it, how many people you've reached with this post, and then how many of them weren't already following you. That's an important one, because if there are people that aren't following you, you want to try to figure out what you need to do to get them to follow you so that they can become part of your group, right? So I also use hashtags a lot, and hopefully Anita will talk about that. Okay, so when you come down here, you can see all of that. That's what a post looks like for Instagram on here. I see a chat question. Yes. Sorry, real quick. Angie had posted that if you use Canva in your marketing to create images, you can schedule posts through Canva's website. Canva is it's a photo, or it's like a Illustrator. If you're familiar with Illustrator, you can create ads, edit pictures, things like that. It's a fantastic tool, and I highly recommend it. But when we go over to Facebook, oh, come on, you guys.
But you can schedule your
Yeah.
stuff through Instagram and Facebook as well,
Yeah.
correct? You don't
Absolutely.
have to have something else.
Mm-mm. No, you can use Facebook and Instagram, and you can go in here. What? I don't know what this. What is this doing to me right now? It is inhibiting. There it goes. Okay, sorry. I have a lot of pages, so we're just gonna. Let's look at this one. So this is a post that was posted yesterday on Facebook. It shows all of the information, who was reached, it shows how many people were reached, how they interacted with the image. And you see right here where it says boost post. Okay? When you click on that, I'm not actually going to boost it. I'm just going to show you what it looks like. You go through here, and so the objective, you can change the objective. You can, do you just want Facebook to decide what it does? Do you want to get more people to react just to the post? Do you want to connect with people? And that kind of determines what the ad shows. If it says, find out more here, that takes you to a website. If it says, message us, it sends you to Facebook Messenger to send a message to the chorus, okay? So when you're going through it, hold on. I'm over the coughing. Okay. So choose where you want people to message you. We don't use WhatsApp, whatever. We just, send message in Facebook if you want them to message you. And you can create your own welcome message. If people click on it to contact you, then an automatic message can pop up. Hi, whatever your name is. Type in what you want them to receive. Okay, that's a really cool way to do that if you're trying to get people to message you. Suggest questions for people. Special ad category, that's like if it's political, things like that. We don't really have to worry about that. Audience, this is what's really important too, is you want to select the location, the age. You can just target people who already like your page, but that's not getting more people to see you, right? So we can target the people and their friends, or we can do people in your local area, because each business page has a local area, right? And then when we come down here, this is important too. So it tells you how many days you want to advertise for and what your total budget is going to be. So hang on one second. Okay, sorry. So this is important. This is your budget and how long you want to run the ad for. So it's going to tell you if you have $10 over 5 days, then you can reach up to 430 people per day with your ad. It does take maybe a business day to get your ad approved, just so you know. And that starts with and that's part of the 5 days. So, but that's still a lot of people you could possibly reach with your ad. Do we have questions about that? Okay, cool. And then this is also a newer thing that they've done is if you're having people message you, whoever's gonna click on a link, it will show you who clicked on a link. And then if they don't actually send you a message, you could contact them if you wanted to. Okay? So that is, yes, I would like to cancel the ad, thank you. So that's what it looks like to boost a post on Facebook and Instagram. Amy.
Sorry, Melanie, sorry. I forgot how to put my hand up. Can you believe it?
No, you're fine.
usually running the Zoom. Have you ever tracked the kind of feedback you've received from ads? Like, if I mean, it's hard because we've been in COVID so long, but either for show response or guests to chorus events or anything like that.
The tracking has been a newer thing that's come out on the ads, so not yet. And also, we haven't had any shows in the last couple of years to be able to track that. However, that is definitely something that we will definitely look into doing. So one of the things I wanted to do with our next area contest was to be able to use social media to put actual ads into, like, out there, because since it's an area, we just are going to advertise where the contest is, right? Even just to draw people in to see the contest. And that's just, unfortunately, we weren't able to do that this year, and hopefully that'll change for next year. We did do that in 2019, and we did get people who came in, but it wasn't through Facebook ads. It was through the local Jacksonville art boards that were there. So that's going to be the next thing we talk about. So this is all social. That's basically social media, how you want to advertise with social media. Facebook is a really good tool. If you want more pointers on that, I can do an entire class on just Facebook advertising and how to use that business tool effectively. And then Google Ads. That's the same thing. You just want to make sure your website is connected with a Google Ads account. And it's pretty straightforward when you go to the Google Ads website of how to set it up, how to get it attached, that kind of thing. And depending on what you use to manage your website, it integrates it in there for you anyways. And you can just go into your website settings to check the integration options. Those are the big internet things that are really, really useful, in addition to Meetup. But this is like, unfortunately, you have to spend money. We would really like to not have to spend money, but the only way we could not spend money is if everything is in person, and being in person was 150% effective, and it's not. Even when we're selling ourselves through our performances, how many people do we actually get to come to our rehearsals and become members? Right? Sue, you had your hand up.
Yeah, I guess I don't, for our chorus, Debbie handles Facebook and I'm not so involved with it, but when you're talking about your ad, is that the same word as your post?
Yes and no. So yes, in the way that you saw that I pulled a post up. That was posted yesterday. Our leads and our baritones had a sectional at our director's house. So they took some pictures and they posted that on Facebook of, look what we're doing today. Okay, for the public to see. And that post, if we wanted to get that post to people outside of just the people who follow us on Facebook and Instagram, then that's when you hit boost and that becomes your ad. So you can create targeted posts. If you have a post that, like, you just want to put something out there about your chorus, graphic images, graphics and images, not graphic images. Graphics and images are one of the best ways to do it, because if you think about Instagram, that's all that Instagram is. It's just images, and then you put a caption underneath it. On Facebook, we can write posts, but one of the problems that's occurring is people don't want to read all of your words. So whatever you can put into an image that conveys what you would type in 12 paragraphs, do it. Because that is super effective, because it's an image that's right in somebody's face. And that's what's like when Anne showed us her meetup, the picture on their meetup site. It has everything that you need. It has a picture of the chorus of like mixed ages. It has where they rehearse, the day, the time they rehearse, and who they are, all on one image that's going to catch your attention. And then you can read about it if it catches your attention enough to make you stop. Does that make sense?
Our Facebook page is just our normal, this is our chorus Facebook.
Right.
Does it have anything to do with a business page or business thing that you talked about before?
Your chorus Facebook page should be a business account.
It
Oh.
it is, Sue. It
Yeah.
is. So I have to, when I do the boost posts, I have to go into the business section to do those.
Yes.
But the tricky part is there's a lot of really good content, excuse me,
Yes.
that comes from Harmony and stuff like that. But you can't boost a shared post. So you have to start with your own original stuff.
There is.
So we get lots of good stuff from other people, but we can't do anything with that.
There's a way to do it. It just
Is there?
depends on what it is. If it's an article that you're trying to share, I don't think you can boost an article that's shared by somebody else. But if Harmony Incorporated has posted about contest, Area 6 has posted about contest, you could absolutely save that picture, post it on your chorus Facebook page, and boost that sucker and say, my chorus is competing in this contest. Or we're having a convention. Now, it just depends on how the original post was shared, on if you can boost it or not. When
Okay, I
when
didn't know that.
so if you if you post a link, for instance, on my YouTube, if I'm posting the link for the YouTube video in a post, absolutely I can boost it on Facebook. That's
Okay.
absolutely a thing you
I
can
have
do.
to save it first, though.
Yes. If you're going to share,
that's the key.
if you want to boost somebody else's post that's like an image, if you just hit share, it doesn't always let you boost it. It very much depends on what it is. But
Okay.
if it's an image, if you need to ask permission if it's from like a person, you may want to ask permission. But it's
Sure.
generally, and then tag the organization in it when you share that like when you boost it as an advertisement, you could tag at Area 6 or at Harmony Incorporated to tag their page, showing that they own the post too.
Okay, I've done that with some things, but maybe I screwed up trying to do it with others.
Well, and that could be things that Anita will talk about as well. But that is how to advertise in a nutshell with social media. Does it make sense? Do we have other questions about that part? No? Okay. Now we're going to talk about the old-fashioned way of advertising, okay? And part of that, I know we talked to image is part of this as well, right? And so image is going to kind of come into the way that we are talking about ourselves. So we can advertise at performances, we can advertise in local art papers, on art boards, things like that, on social media. Image is very important when you're talking about all of it, especially when you're talking about when you're like in person and you're writing things out. By chorus image, I don't necessarily mean just the way that you look and you present yourself. We're all human beings and we're all very different, okay? I don't mean physical appearance. I mean the way that you talk about yourself, the way that other people talk about you, the way that things you say are read. Our chorus has a voice, okay? When I was the marketing director or marketing chair for AHC, I created multiple like posts and different documents that have a very specific voice. It's not my voice. It's not the way that I talk. It is the way that our chorus is heard. Does that make sense? Like when you have multiple people who control social media or multiple people who put different things out there, as the chorus, they can be read very differently. Because you can hear the way one person speaks over the way another person speaks and how they write out words. And that's really important because you want your chorus to have one voice. If you have 7 people on one team that are writing things, it should have one voice. And that's something to talk about with your marketing team in general. But the easiest way to keep that one voice when you're publishing anything is to have like a Google Drive or a Dropbox or a box.com where you keep templates. Okay. And one of the ways that you can, if you need help with that, with finding a voice, one of the things you can use is the Harmony Incorporated website. They do have templates. They have press release templates, and you can get those templates and customize them for your chorus, including changing different verbiage to make it sound like your chorus. How to make your chorus sound like your chorus, I don't have an answer for you for that. It's something that you have to talk about together or with your marketing team and figure out, what is that voice? Is that voice, hey, we sing on Tuesdays, come sing with us? Or is it, we are a women's a cappella chorus who enjoys performing for the community, blah, blah, blah. Like, you can read, you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Okay, so when you're using social media, you can also see that voice in the different images that you post of your chorus, right? But when you're going other avenues, more traditional avenues of trying to get published in the newspaper or in the local art beat, which is what AHC does. There's two different places that we use. There's a new one that's like a community magazine, I think, that we were published in recently. And then the other one is that we were really lucky that one of our members had a contact at the local newspaper. So they, for no charge, will write feature pieces about us. So if you want to go the paper route, which also gets published on the internet, by the way, even if people aren't holding something in their hand, they still have access to that paper because it does get published online now and shared on social media pages and whatnot. So if you can get an in with somebody, or if you can just send a press release about your chorus to the newspaper, they will forward it to the department it needs to go to. And if they feel like that's something they want to publish, then they'll publish it, and then they'll reach out to you again. It doesn't hurt to try. And you're not harassing anybody by sending press releases about your chorus. Yes, Debbie.
What I was going to say is, no, you're not harassing them. They're dying for stuff to publish and fill space, so don't hesitate.
I also saw Lynn unmuted. Did you have something, Lynn?
Yes, Panama City a cappella recently did have a news person come in from one of our local television stations. He was there the entire night filming us, which was kind of cool. And when they edited it, they started showing little snips and promos, 2 days later. And then I can't tell you how many people I spoke to at church or even at my job that said, wow, was that your group that you sing with on TV? I saw them. And I said, yeah, that's my group. And they go, wow, you guys look awesome. And wow, I didn't know that was the kind of music you sang. Everybody knows I sing. They just don't want to know about it.
Yeah.
At least admit that. But
and
it was really good. We were excited.
And that is super awesome. So that's definitely one of those more traditional routes to try to pursue is the newspaper. Try to email the news stations and say, my chorus that's been around for 20 years is going to have their anniversary show. Would you like to feature us? Those are things that you don't really have to pay for. If they're like, we would love to feature you, then they're not necessarily going to make you pay, especially if they're writing something about you. Does that make sense? It's just, we feel like, I feel like in these days, we feel like that's not something that people still do, but it absolutely is. When BHS has their international contests, they have quartets that are featured on the local news of where the international contest is being held. not because the news stations reached out to them, but because they reached out to the news stations, and they're not paying for that slot. Now, they probably reached out to all of them, and only one of them was like, we'll do that. But then sometimes they have one like multiple days. Like they have quartets that are featured over multiple days that they're in that town, because it's a draw for BHS, but it's also a draw for the community, because they have all these people that are visiting. Does that make sense? And it's doing the work. And that's the hard part a lot of times. Like we talk about, we don't know where to advertise, but there's all of these places in front of us. It's just it's just reaching out to them and doing the work. And doing the work is really the hard part, because we can get discouraged. Sorry, my throat is so dry right now. Hold on. Allergies are stupid. But I hate the pollen. When we do the work, then we're going to get return on it. And it's super discouraging when we don't get the response we're looking for the first time. Totally understand that. But we just have to keep doing it. If they don't want to hear from you anymore, they will let you know, hey, we love what you're doing. However, that's not something that we can feature. And then that's fine. You can go a different avenue. You can find somebody else to reach out to. More times than not, they're not going to do that. And eventually, it's going to happen. Whether it's with this station or that station or a radio station. One of the things that AHC used to do back in the day, and we just haven't done it because I think the radio station stopped doing it for a time, was they used to sing the local, and this is also hard because barbershop groups tend to rehearse at churches, even though we are not a religious organization. Churches don't charge you a lot of money more usually. So they're an affordable place for us to rehearse. Even though we're not affiliated with them and we are not in a religious organization. But the local Christian radio station here would do a come sing for us every day. And they, hello Aria.
Hi.
And they would, do you want to say hello? Say hello.
Hi.
Okay. Go play. So they would do come sing with us the 12 days of Christmas. And somebody would come in and they would sing some carols that morning on the radio. So look for opportunities like that. Like that's definitely stuff that happens. You just have to look for it. And it may not be the stations that you listen to on the regular. But there's definitely opportunities like that out there. Also, circling back around to the mailers or those postcards, make them a mailer. If you have a marketing budget, which you should, I can't tell you how much to have, but you need to have a marketing budget. It doesn't cost very much money to send a postcard. And you just pick where you want to send them. That sounds like a lot of work. But if you have people like a newsletter, or if you have a sign-up list of people who come to your shows, you can get their address or you can get their email address and you can send it out as advertising to those people. My husband's chorus, every time they have a show, they spend a lot of money. Don't spend as much money as them because they do big flyers and they fold them and that costs more money. But if you do a little postcard size advertisement about you're having a show, you could pick that list of people who have attended your shows in the past, people who have supported you. If you want to do it with your neighborhood, or if you know different neighborhoods or communities, that you could get like just a list of addresses, just like the people who send out all the advertisements that say get $5 off of your next butcher order. You know what I mean? You can send flyers out to those people. And if you do the postcards, they cost like 13 cents. So it's just picking how much money you were able to spend to do that. Yes, Debbie.
if we were going to try and do something like that, and this may not be something that should be covered here, but would is there, and I think this was mentioned actually in Ann's thing, is there a list from Harmony Inc. that has members that didn't renew that we could target by zip codes or something like that?
Um, yes. So we do have the membership coordinator for the area absolutely has a list of all of the members. And if there are associate members who have not renewed or kind of fell off the list or whatever, you could ask. You could definitely ask if there are members or old previous members around your area. Could you get their information to reach out to them and see if they want to come sing with you or come to your shows or anything like that? I think that that's something you could do.
Okay, and associate members may be ready to actually sing with a chorus versus
Sure.
standing on the sidelines these days.
Yeah, there's plenty of people who have come and gone as members. Or what I really wish there was is what she was talking about with the Sweet Adelines, is if there was like a list of people who have left Sweet Adeline choruses and don't have anywhere to sing, because there's so many choruses that I could form in Alabama, Tennessee, like Mississippi. If I just had the list of those people, there's so many people who don't have anywhere to sing because their chorus was too small.
Yeah.
You
Okay,
know?
well, I'll check with membership and we'll work from there.
Yeah, ask them if there's any associate members or previous associate members around you. I mean, I would say even within like an hour. If people want to sing, they will drive to sing. Okay, maybe not Donna because she lives 5.5 hours away from us, but 6.5? Anyways, Sue.
It occurred to me that I heard about Coastal Voices Chorus because a member posted something on Facebook about a drawing they were having.
Excuse me.
I just I don't know that this has actually come up before, but I think every single one of our current members should be posting on their own Facebook pages about our chorus. I guess I don't do that enough. Not at all. Once in a while I do, but I just think we all should be doing it regularly. And those Facebook friends of mine who have been kind of, what does Sue do? What does,
Yeah.
Then that might answer that question for them and at least encourage them to reach out to me if they are interested in singing.
Yes, so that is definitely a thing that we should all be asking of all of our members. And some members are better about it than other members. And other members will never do it because that's just not who they are. Or, in general, as women, we feel like we can't bother people with the things that we like or we want to do or we want them to help us with. Just very, very generalized, not necessarily this group of women, but like if you think about selling tickets for a show, or if you think about giving out business cards or things like that, women are much less likely to do that than men. Why? There's lots of psychological reasons that we're not going to go into today. But the answer is we just have to keep trying and encouraging the other people in our chorus to do that, because that's one of the biggest ways that we can advertise ourselves, we can market ourselves, is by people sharing. And if you're using social media to post about your chorus, then they should be able to just go in and share those posts. Writing your own post, that can be, what's the word I'm looking for? Overwhelming? Yeah.
And it also present a different image.
Yeah, and it can present a different image, which can not always be a good thing. If your chorus has a certain image, you want that to always be presented because that's who your chorus is as a whole. That makes sense? So creating those posts that Anita's going to talk to us about is going to be a good tool for them to be able to share. And then swinging back around to, so like the mailers, again, that's if you have, I feel like we're squirrel here, but that's okay. That's how my brain works sometimes. Mailers are a good way if you have the budget for it. If you don't have the budget for it, then we're going to look at other avenues like boosting our posts on social media, using Google ads to get our website out there. We're going to contact the local papers. Like, look for not just the main newspaper. There's lots of like local art beats. There's art bulletin boards out there. Just kind of, that's what I found when I advertised our contest in Jacksonville. It was a local community art board, which posts like anything art related, musical events, like paintings and open houses and things like that. Anything art related. That's what that bulletin board was. So look for those kind of things. Art beats, art bulletin boards. If there are physical community boards you can print things and attach them to, do that at your church, at your bunco group. I don't know. Is that a thing? Like if you go to different places that have these things available, if you ask at your like schools and things like that. But like my daughter's preschool, there's the table when we first come in the lobby, and people put their business cards down there. I work for a chiropractor, and some of them are now patients. So like those are things we can do. You can put your business card down. You can put a flyer down. You can put things out. It's just doing the action of getting yourself out there. Oh, thank you, Amy. So that's a big thing. Do we have questions? Comments, concerns? I can also address concerns. Does everything make sense? Because I know we've talked about lots of different things. Let me see. I'm trying to think. Let me show you. If you don't know about press releases, I did bring this website up. Here, I'll share my screen real quick. Maybe. There it is. Everybody has a login for the Harmony Incorporated website. If you don't know it, don't copy mine, because now you have to have your own password. It's your member number and a password that you've created for yourself. But when you go into the member section of the Harmony Incorporated website, there's a lot of things here that you may not know are here. Also, like chapters, if you have things that you want to sell, or if you're looking for something, you can list them through the Harmony Inc. website. Things that are listed for sale. But specifically what I'm looking for, there's different forms in here. There's a whole thing on marketing and PR resources that we're going to click on. If you didn't know this, if you want to use the Harmony Incorporated logo for anything advertising, you have to receive permission from International. You may not just use it willy-nilly whenever you'd like. You have to receive written permission from International. It has a link to email the VP of Finance. They're the ones that will give you permission to use the logo. And you have to get permission each time you want to use it differently. Very important. It is copyrighted, and you have to receive permission from International to use that logo. But when you're coming down, when you're looking through here, There's the different information for Find Your Voice, which has really good information for your membership people, and it has different images you can use. But down here is a link for, oh, here we go. They also have postcards, is press release templates. Okay. The PR coordinator has put together a comprehensive list of press release templates for use. So I'm going to click on that, and it's just plug and play. You are able to put in your chorus information, the website, phone number, location of whatever you're advertising, and put it out there. If you don't have somebody who writes press releases for you, or you're not sure the right wording, you can use these just as guidance, or you can use them as they are. Even singing Valentine's that some of the choruses did. There are all of these things, like years of service or membership, and these are fantastic resources that Harmony Inc. has put out there for us to make this job easier. There's even quartet specific ones. If you know quartets that are trying to get out there and get gigs and things like that, because not only are we trying to using this to get members in, but we're also putting ourselves out into the communities, and we're trying to get the attention of businesses who may want to hire us for gigs. You know, the nursing homes and retirement communities, they are always ready for you to come sing for them. That's where most of our performances are currently, because the art events that we used to sing at aren't happening. But also, like, where to go to advertise yourself, there are places where you can get a booth at, like, a festival. So you can contact festivals, local art festivals. I don't know about farmers markets, but if that's your jam, you could try it. Anyways, so you can contact them about singing at their, do they have, how much does it cost to sing for their event? A lot of them, it doesn't actually cost anything to sing for them. You sing for free. Majority of them you sing for free. But if you want to be able to have a booth, you can set a table up. My husband's chorus does this. They go to an international festival where they sing on the stage, and then they sing for free, but they have a table set up there. So what they do is they have shifts. Like, there's some guys that do it the first half, and then they sing in the middle, and then there's other guys who do it for the second half. But you can have people sing tags. If you have merchandise or CDs or things that you make that you sell to raise money for your chorus, you can have those things at the table. It can also just be an advertisement for your chorus. If you have like a table banner or one of those 6-foot banners, we have like 3 of those for our chorus, and they're all very different depending. One of them is old, one of them is very flashy, and the other one has a lot of information on it. So those are not cheap, but they're really fantastic advertising tools when you're out in the public, because those banners catch people's eyes. And it has, you want to have your website, what social media you're on. Don't put like the whole, like, just the icons. You're on Facebook, you're on YouTube, that kind of thing. And then if you have a phone number, we have a Google phone number that we use. Put that on there. Website, phone number, where you are, and then who you are, and pictures. And create a banner. So when you go to those events, something is going to catch people's eyes. I really love table runners, because when people are walking by, they're looking at tables, not necessarily looking at who you are. They're looking at what's on your table. So if you make a table runner or a banner that comes down over a 6-foot table, that's like a beautiful image, or your logo, or a picture, like whatever, then people are going to stop and be like, oh, what's that? And then they're going to come up and ask you, well, what is this? And then you can tell them about yourselves, or you can invite them to sing a tag with you, or you can have speakers that you're playing music through to try to get people's attention. Does that make sense? Yes, Debbie.
Sorry, I wanted to ask, is there Is there a transition in progress from Find Your Voice to Harmony Stronger, or both taglines still applicable?
They're different. You
I
can
know they're different, but
Well, I mean, no, like they're both applicable. So, Find Your Voice is a program that was developed to help choruses invite people to sing with them. And we did a class on it several years ago. I think it was definitely before Coastal Voices, because you guys haven't been to a contest yet. But several years ago, we did a class on Find Your Voice at area contest. And it just went through some of the material and when it does, and give it a look on the website. It's really good for membership coordinators, but also membership and marketing to work together on, so that you can figure out what you want to use from it, because it just has a lot of verbiage that draws people in. Where do you like to sing? Where do you do your singing? That's stuff that Anne doesn't put on Meetup. I think is one of the things that she says. She doesn't put that on Meetup, and that's okay. That is a verbal conversation. When you're talking to people, well, where do you do your singing? Oh, in my shower. Oh, well, do you want to come sing with people? Or, things like that. Like, you can ask, where do you do your singing? Or you talk to people and you're like, and if they're like, oh, I used to sing a long time ago, but I just don't think I can do it anymore, or things like that, you can say, well, you know what? Why don't you come visit the chorus and we'll help you find your voice? What is your voice like now? We'll help you find that and discover who you are as a singer now.
okay. Sorry to drag you off topic. I didn't realize.
Oh, you're
that.
good. No, you're good.
We've been there. Find Your Voice has been what we've used for tagline.
No, and that's fantastic. It is really good. Angie was PR coordinator for Harmony Incorporated for a few years. So she was part of that revamp, right?
Yeah, she knows a lot.
Yes.
There she is.
Yes,
She's on with us.
I'm here.
I'm
here. I'm just being quiet.
No, you're fine. And it's a fantastic tool to use. And we use it, we just don't use it a lot visually. We use it more verbally, people in our chorus. And it's something that really you can go over as like an education thing with your chorus.
Well, that's interesting, because I don't know that our chorus knows anything about it. So I think that would be a good. And I said, well, no, I'm blaming Angie. It's just trying to get people to focus on it.
Right.
We've not used the Find Your Voice as a focus, but we use a lot of the graphics and a lot of the verbiage that comes out of it. But you're right, Debbie, I do need to teach it. And now that you all have reminded me about that, for those of you that don't have the materials or the graphics, they're out on the members only section of the Harmony Inc. website. There's brochures, there's flyers, there's press releases. All kinds of stuff that goes along with Find Your Voice is out there.
And like if you end up doing local festivals and things like that where you have a table, there are things where you can plug your chorus's picture into the Find Your Voice material and have the pamphlets and things like that on the table that you can give to people.
Yes, they are. All of the materials are fully customizable. And if you have issues with it, let us know, because we have a team of people that can help you on the area level, that with Melinda, myself, Pam Ringo, a lot of us, we can edit that for you and send it right back to you.
Absolutely.
Don't let technology be a holdback. You've got the support.
Update. Anita is almost ready. So that's why I'm letting us go a little bit longer and asking more questions and stuff.
I was going to say, you want to give everybody a break and let them get something to drink?
Yeah, we can do that. The other thing was just to answer the other part about Harmony Stronger. It's just different. It's just Angie could probably explain more about that tagline and why that came out.
Harmony Stronger, this is an important question, and I'm glad that this came up. Harmony Stronger is the 5-year initiative that Harmony Inc. is on. It's like our goals. So like one of them is to have choruses coast to coast. And you might say, well, we have one in California. Well, yes, we do, but we don't have the areas in between. So are we really truly coast to coast? So and if any of you want to read it, it's out there and I'll be happy to send it to you. But it's all of the goals and things that the Harmony Inc. Board of Directors, where we want to be 5 years from now. So when Christina Llewellyn was president, she had her first stab at it, and we accomplished all of that in 2 years. And so we adjusted it a little bit and then extended it and put new stuff. So there's a lot of stuff coming out of that over the next years we're going to be really awesome organization, more so than we are now. So
Yep. And then, I mean, you can also use it on social media with like when there are things happening in your chorus and you're getting new members and things are there are exciting things happening. That's one of the things you can just pop in there of like Harmony Stronger, because people are going to be like, oh, what is that? And they'll click on it. Or Harmony Incorporated is going to see it because you're putting that out there and they're probably checking the hashtags that people are using.
And it is fully shareable. We're not ashamed to put it out there for the world to read.
Yep.
I think you'll notice on the t-shirts that we designed, we used it. Yep. Because you all are going to be hearing a lot more about it on the area level, because we're on the area level, we're going to start implementing a lot of that. So that's why, and the reason it's named that is because the goal is to make Harmony stronger.
Yep.
So.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Any other questions? And I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to like grab another drink or another snack or go potty. Any other questions? Sue, you need 10 minutes? Oh. All right, let me stop recording.